Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aiden. I go by Tuesday Enthusiast, and today we are working with this brand new art supply to me, the Ohuhu Waikiki acrylic marker set. I wanted to give myself a little gift for, well, being alive and making art. And also I was feeling kind of limited by my Posca set. I only had 7 colors in it, and I really just wanted to branch out a little bit and make things with some different colors. So as the title of this video suggests, this is my first time making keychains and using shrink plastic in my art practice, at least since I was like a really small kid. Like, I feel like I've done this craft with my mom when I was small, but like it's been a really long time since I've done anything like this. But the strategy for this project is essentially that I took a piece of regular printer paper and I sketched out a design on that paper, and then I laid my shrink plastic over top, and I used a piece of tape. I think for the next one I ended up using 2 because 1 piece was not quite enough to hold the plastic in place over the sketch, and then I painted on the plastic directly with the acrylic markers while following my guidelines from my sketch. This worked really well for me, so if you are planning to make any sort of shrink keychains in the future, I recommend using this strategy. I will say the paper that I got has 2 sides, one really shiny plasticky side, like this one, and then on the other side there's like a rough, slightly more matte side. And for my next attempt after this one, I did use the rougher side. In this video, I used the shiny side. I really recommend, if you're using acrylic markers, to use the rougher side. The paint turned out more even on those ones. It like stuck a little better to the individual spots, which makes sense because it's rougher and like more prone to stickage in that way. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the process of me coloring. I ended up doing 2 on camera of these, but to be completely honest with you, like, I can't stop making these. Like, I think I've made like 10 by the time I've recorded this voiceover. Like, I'm just having so much fun coming up with different designs and drawing my little heart out, because that's really all I can do right now. I'm still healing my body, still taking care of myself. But this one is a trout, and then I was feeling ballsy as hell, and I freehanded this like hanging cat keychain. I eventually did do a sketch of it and like made a second version that's like a little cleaner, but I don't know who she was feeling, because why are we freeballing up in here? Like, that's crazy for me. I'm usually not this confident, but whatever, here we go. We are drawing this cat hanging by the scruff of its neck. Now, this is my first impression of the Ohuhu acrylic markers. I've never used them before, but I've heard good things. And like I was saying earlier, I wanted a bit more color availability than my Posca set, which was the Uni Posca set. It only has 7 colors, which look great together, and I really love using them. I just wanted a bit more variety in my day-to-day use. And I have to say that these are so nice to work with. Like, I'm so glad that I bought them. They come out really smooth. They pump from the top instead of you pressing the marker tip in to like pump the paint in, because they're brush tips. Obviously, they would get like absolutely destroyed if you had to like poke them into a paper a million times. But the color comes out really opaque. There's a black and a white swatch, and it was insane to see the colors just like covering that black paper like all of the time. Was not expecting that. And yeah, they're really smooth. They're easy to work with. They dry really quick, especially on this plastic. I wasn't worried about them blending with about like 10 minutes between the layers. I think they would probably blend if you like switched between colors really quickly, but there was no bleeding or blending here, which was perfect for this use case. I'm really excited to use them in my sketchbook. I haven't even tried that yet. But yeah, overall, I do recommend them. This is not sponsored at all. I don't have enough clout for that. But I would be down, Ohuhu, if you ever see this. This girl does like what you bring to the table. So I've just been adding some little details to these 2 pieces now, and I think these really make it pop. I added some little polka dots and stripes to the fish. I do regret the, like, black around the eye. The moment I put the marker there on the fish, I was like, oh, we've done made a mistake. But whatever, you live and you learn. I was being really dainty with this blue outline for the cat at first. I'm 99% sure I went over it with thicker strokes because I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, this is gonna shrink to, like, 25% of its size. Like, those are not gonna be visible to the naked eye. So I'm pretty sure I went in and thickened those lines up. But yeah, I'm just adding little vibe details to the outside of this whole cat, but I don't think I outlined the fish. I think I just left it as it was. And yeah, I really love this blue cat keychain. Like, it's going on my keys immediately once it's done, I have to say. The eyes, the face, the whole thing, like, it's just, it's so silly. And it kind of looks like my boy Theo, my little tabby cat. Obviously, my tabby cat is not blue, but it brings the same energy to the table as my cat. Like, he's just a big noodle. So once I allowed the paint to dry for about an hour or so, I was able to cut them out. And I didn't leave any border of plastic on the edge, which I do kind of regret. Like, I think cutting it right along the edge of the paint kind of cheapened it and made it feel a little less, I don't know, like, professional. I don't really know how else to describe that. Like, I think if there was a bit of a border of plastic, it would feel a little bit more luxurious in the end product, just based on, like, the next iterations that I made. But for the first ones, like, honestly, it is what it is. It turned out really well. So I just carefully cut out the shapes. If I got to, like, a really small, tight corner, I kind of cut from one side as far as I could, and then I came in from the other side and, like, twisted the plastic out because I don't want to ruin the integrity of it. It's really easy to, like, make it crack if you cut it wrong when it's baking. So I just cut around the edge. I left a little bit of plastic between these, like, small sections of the cat, but I do wish that I left, like, a big border, and then I left a little spot in the top between the ears because that's where I wanted to hole punch it. Then I just took my little hole puncher and made a little hole for the fish to get a keychain ring attached to, and the cat's to get its little thing to attach to when it was done baking. Shoved her in the oven. I baked mine at 325 for 4 minutes, but it will really depend on your oven and your paper, so follow your instructions. And yeah. So it's the next morning. I wanted to show you how they turned out. I haven't resined these or anything yet. This is just what we got post-bake. The little cat is cute. These two aren't perfectly flat, but for my first go, they're not so bad. I really love this guy. He's going on my keys. And then I think I'm going to give this one to one of my homies. Or maybe my dad for Father's Day, because it kind of looks like a trout. So these were my first two prototypes. And then I got a little crazy with it. And overnight, I made, like, deep in the night, I made these two little fish ones. I am going to touch up the orange paint and the yellow paint. These paints, even though they're the same marker, they're a little streaky. I don't really know what happened. I'm wondering if I needed to, like, pump more acrylic into them. But apart from the spotty paint, I really do like these two-tone ones. And I made the fish just, like, a tiny, tiny bit slimmer on the bottom. You can see I, like, took that much off. And that way I was able to fit two on each piece of shrinky dink paper. So I made these two, which are so cute. Put everybody back. And then I reiterated on the cat. I, like, cleaned up the design a little. I made, like, an actual sketch of it. Here is she, in case you're interested in the actual sketch. So I made a little sketch of it so that I had a base template to put my paper on similar to the fish. Obviously, this one did not turn out. So the difference between these two that I can see is that on this one I chose to cut between the feet, and that caused it to roll up much further, and then it got stuck on the shoulder there and it never actually like let go and then finished its shrink. Whereas this one, I made sure to keep a little bit of the plastic between the feet on both sets of feet, so now I know that I can't cut between the feet. But I think I'm gonna redo this one eventually, and they're gonna be so cute. I can't wait to give this to my friends who have cats. And I kind of like that as much as they're like from a template, and this one is cleaner. I was kind of worried that it wouldn't have the same energy if I pre-drew it, but it actually looks fantastic. But because they're like, the template is really loose and it's just about the shape, I still feel very free to like make each one completely and entirely unique with the colors and the shapes that I use, and like whether I use dots or stripes, or here whether I use this kind of stripe. On the orange one you can't really see, but in there I used little squiggles. I thought they were so cute. Here we are setting up the resin station. I started by laying down a piece of parchment paper on my desk. I've just noticed that parchment paper works the best for me when I'm resining. It causes things not to stick at all. And yeah, I just was using this. So I got my pieces together. Plot twist, I have a ton more off camera because I've been making these all day. But this is the resin that I'm currently using. It's a UV resin. And I use this old gel nail polish bottle brush that ran out to apply my resin. And I use this little heat lamp, or UV lamp I should say, to cure the things when I'm done. I was definitely a little heavy-handed with this first dose of resin on here, and I learned pretty quickly that I just can't be doing that. I think I used this glob of resin to do literally 3 pieces. But anyway, I pour the resin out of the tube, and then I use this brush to spread it around. Now you might be thinking, hey girl, aren't you supposed to be like wearing gloves and not touching the resin? The answer to that is yeah, you should not be doing this barehanded like me. I kind of forgot about that. It's been a really long time since I've used the resin. And then I did panic when there was resin on my hands afterwards. And I was able to get it off with like rubbing alcohol and scrubbing with soap. But like, don't be like me and please use gloves. My space was ventilated and I was wearing a mask. I had a fan blowing across my desk and out the window because I didn't want any of this getting into the house where the cats live, and the door to my room was closed, and I ventilated the room out for like an hour afterwards. But yeah, like don't be like me and use bare hands with this. Another thing that I did do by accident is on this one, the trout, and the pink cat, I accidentally resined over the holes that were punched so that I could apply them to the keychain, and I needed my partner to drill them back out because I can't use the drill right now. So like, just be careful with your holes while you are resining so that you don't make the same mistake I do. Luckily, it drilled out no problem, like it was a pretty quick fix, but you know, just in case, don't do that to yourself. For the key rings, I got this really fun variety pack of different colored key rings to kind of match the vibes of the keychains because I knew I wanted to make a bunch of them. So I'm still working on them. I have a ton more key rings to use, which is really exciting. But I spent a couple minutes just matching up my keychains to the key rings, and I really love how this played into the whole piece at the end. Like, just this little detail really elevated the whole thing for me, honestly, in a way that I wasn't really expecting, but I'm really glad that I decided to do it. So for putting the keychains on the key rings, the steps are this. Open the J-ring pretty far. Hopefully you don't drop it too many times, but I'm a little clumsy with them. Close the J-ring using your pliers. I like to use 2 sets. I couldn't find my other pliers, so I'm using pliers and wire cutters, but I'm just being really gentle with my wire cutters so that I'm not like actually cutting my J-ring. It's just kind of being like held there, and then you just kind of make the ends kith, close it, and then you can attach it to the keychain. So I just did that a ton of times. I will let you watch that process now, and I'll talk to you at the end when we see the final result. We are coming to the end of this video with that final keyring added. I think they're so cute. And here is the final reveal. Let me know down below if you think that these are cute or not, and comment fish if you made it this far so I know that you made it to the end. Please subscribe and like if you're interested in this kind of content, because I would love to make you more. And here's all of them that I made. Every single one of these will be available in my shop by the time this goes live. Thanks so much for being here, and remember to stay crafty.